happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Brownwood Lions Coaches Show here on KOHC. I am Derek Stuckley, and today I'm joined by Brownwood Lions head football coach Gerald Brixey, who now has a full week under your belt?
Yeah, a full week and a half, and still a lot of going back and forth because of one-act play, but in fact, I'll be going back tomorrow for that again, so hopefully that continues, but as soon as it's not, then I'll be able to have complete full weeks here, but it's been pretty busy.
Well, good deal. So I guess how is the house hunting situation going? I know we talked about that a little bit.
Well, it's I mean, there's some possibilities.
That's good.
One, we just gotta get isolated on what we want to get done, and then, take care of the one you're trying to get rid of, and while you're trying to also get a new one. So.
Oh yeah, it's the things that come with
timing,
moving. Yes.
Timing stuff. So.
Well, we'll talk a little football here in a second. First, we'll do some recaps of what happened last night. Of course, over in Mineral Wells, the Lions soccer team won a 4-3 penalty kick shootout over Benbrook for the area championship. In the shootout, Hudson Fry recorded 2 saves, and then the shutout goals were by Aiden Pena, Isaac Morales, Jeremiah Chacon, and Jose Rodriguez. So the Lions will advance to the third round of the playoffs. They'll face Bridgeport at 7 p.m. Friday in Granbury. And then softball last night scored 5 runs in the top of the 7th inning to beat Stephenville 5-1. They are now 2-1 in district and 12-7 overall. And they'll be at home against Graham Friday at 6:30. And you were at softball last night?
I was for the first 2 innings, and then went to baseball.
Oh, okay. So what'd you think from what you saw?
It looked like we had a pitcher that could put a little heat on the ball.
She's pretty good.
And just trying to figure it out. But the little catcher looked like a pretty good little player. She didn't let much get by her. So
yeah, she's a 4-year senior.
And I saw us get close play at home that didn't go our way, which is my understanding. Should not be a shocker in Stephenville. So
yes.
Felt like it should have gone our way, but didn't.
Yes, and the catcher, Chloe Walls, hit a 2-run home run there in the 7th inning. Of course, baseball played at Stephenville last night, opened up district, came up short 6-4, but they're back in action Friday at Moore Southall Field at 7 o'clock, also against Stephenville. And then track will be split this week. We have 5 who have qualified for the Texas Relays in Austin Friday and Saturday. That will be all 3 Lady Lions relay teams, along with Hannah Dean in the high jump and Kate Tyndall in the 100 meters. The full boys team and then the remaining girls and the JV squads will all be in Stephenville tomorrow. And then tennis-wise, Brownwood is back in action Friday at Gatesville, and that tournament will start at 8 a.m. So I think that covers all the other sports. So we will hop back into football. And, Coach, you mentioned you got a week and a half under your belt now. So I guess how are things going? What all has happened? And how much progress have you made?
We are moving slowly towards getting a staff put together. Jacob Marwitz, I said last week we had a guy, but now now that he's on and it's official, Jacob Marwitz is joining us. Jacob's going to coach quarterbacks and serve in the role as offense coordinator. Really just to help in game plan, game preparation, those kind of things. I will be the guy that's, ultimately in charge of calling plays and doing the offense, but I think Jacob will do a lot to take things off my plate at times when I'm doing other things that come with the head coaching job. Isolating a defense coordinator. I've got 2 guys that I'm, and I think one of the 2 will work out, and should know by the end of this week who that's going to be, and we'll get them on as quick as possible. The administration, has just been phenomenal. It's trying to get guys hired and working with all the things that go into that. So, teaching fields and loads and athletic period, all the things that go with hiring people. And then we're getting some movement within the staff, guys that have decided that that they want to go somewhere else or going into another field or want to stay and be here. So that's all kind of working itself out, and then we can start getting the whole staff put together. So it's an exciting time when you're trying to build a staff and get guys together that kind of share the same vision you do. And then with the kids, we've been The first week it was just a little bit really of kind of watching what they had going, and then this week I've started changing some stuff about how we do mat drills and trying to get a little bit more of a in that particular drill, just where it's a mental toughness drill more than anything, and start introducing the kids to how we do that, and they've responded really well. And they're still working out this morning, and got back late last night from the baseball game, and I was at the baseball game for a little while, and in the dugout, and kids had a lot of energy, and battled back. They're down 4-0 in the first inning and battled back and played their tails off and made a game and pushed them. So, hopefully Friday we can not get ourselves in that hole to start with. But it's good seeing those kids in that competitive role and know what they're going to bring to us in the football aspect.
All right. So now that you've been here, I guess what has stood out most to you that you've seen so far?
The thing that stood out most to me is just the willingness of the kids to do what you ask them to do, and that's not everywhere, that's not, that seems like they're pretty open to and any change is difficult, and I don't think you ever outgrow that. No matter how old you get, change is still difficult, but it's certainly, I think, more difficult the younger you are. So, in that respect, I think these kids, I think that they've done a really, really good job in handling the change and being able to be, even though they have loyalties, being open to, being accepting of the new people coming in and understanding that it's inevitable at times. And so they've embraced it. And I think I'm excited about what that's going to lead to us and their openness to, we talked this morning to them about being trusting of the coaches, and there's going to be some guys that end up with position changes and how we do things, and to be open to that and understanding that what we're ultimately trying to do is get what we feel like is the best kids on the field to accomplish what we're trying to get accomplished, and that may look different and that may have them in a different spot, but just have trust in us and what we're asking them to do, and I think that's going to be what it's like.
Has there been any surprises one way or the other, or things gone pretty much as you expected so far?
Well, in all honesty, the big, just you don't ever know you're going into somewhere, and you don't know what's been going on. The biggest surprise, in all honesty, is, and I've said this now several times, is the idea that the kids have a great work ethic, and so we just got to take that and build on it. And that's my job, is to make sure that the things we're doing are going to help us be successful. But you're always waiting for the shoe to drop or find out some big negative thing and that's not, I haven't come across one yet.
Well, that's good. So I guess what are the immediate next steps for you as far as getting things rolling?
Well, the immediate next step is to get this defense coordinator and to start getting the staff defensively lined out. We're offensively, we've got the bones of the staff. We've got Lee Grimes here that's going to coach all the offensive line. We've got myself, who's going to work with the tight ends or really wherever else I may be needed, and then Coach Marwitz, who's going to coach quarterbacks, and then a couple of guys that may stay, may leave, and they're coaching positions there, and start to build around that. So the immediate next step is to try to get the defense coordinator in here, and so we can start doing that. But then also next week we're going to start doing some introductory stuff in football, and how to get in a huddle, how to get in, where everybody goes in a huddle, how we call plays, snap counts, those kind of things that are just honestly the things you teach seventh graders. So, but we have to teach it to them all because it's new to all of them. Mm-hmm. So that's that we start moving to next week.
Okay. Of course, Mitch Moore, athletic director, was in here Monday. He mentioned the 7-on-7 tournament that we will be hosting. I guess that's one more thing for you to worry about, 7-on-7.
Yeah, state qualifying tournament. We're going to host it. We'll have 16 teams. We're going to play at Bangs. We're going to play one pool play at Bangs. We'll have another pool play at Early. We'll have another one at Gordonwood, and then we'll have one at Brownwood High School. So that's where the 4 pools will play, and then we'll move into the qualifying rounds after that. And I'm not sure where we're going to do that at, just because of seating at Gordonwood. So we'll have that worked out later on. And then in May, right now, traditionally that there's been just a little league of 7-on-7 on during the week on and that's something we look to continue. We're just trying to talk to people that have been part of that and try to continue that. We're gonna, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for us here this year, because by that point we'll be down to a half of a field at the high school, and then we'll have the other grass fields. And so where we're going to do it and how that's going to work, that's all logistics that we've got to get worked out.
Okay. Speaking on 7-on-7, any out-of-town tournaments, qualifiers we're going to?
I really can't answer that, just as of none that we've talked about that I know of. And we're going to look at what we've done in the past, and as of right now, not that I know of, but that doesn't mean we won't.
Okay. Of course, you mentioned Coach Grimes here, or was hired last week, started Monday. I guess, how is that transition going for him?
I think he's enjoying it, and he's going to be a big asset, literally and figuratively.
Yes.
So he is a large man. So I think the kids are going to love him, and then I think he's going to, he's staying at his mom's house, and so I gave him gave him a little bit of a hard time the other day about, were you going home for mom for lunch? And they say he went home and she didn't have any food, so he told her. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but so he's fun. He's really a fun person to be around, and Coach Marwood started this week too, so they're both on the ground and running, and we started meeting in Monday morning, just talking through football and trying to get all of us on the same page before we start trying to get it with the kids.
All right, good deal. I think you wanted to mention you got some physicals.
Yeah, we got May 16th, I believe, is the date for physicals, and the UIL rules are you have to have one every other year. So if you started in 7th grade, if you got one as an incoming 7th grader, then you have to get one again as an incoming 9th grader, and you have to get one again as an incoming 11th grader. If you are coming from somewhere else and you don't have one, they'll have to get it, or if they had some type of injury or a situation during the previous year, they'd have to have a new one. So anyway, but go ahead and put those down for May 16th, and I think he said we'll start that at 1 o'clock, maybe 1, maybe 2. I don't know. I'll double check. I have a better answer for you for the next week.
No problem.
About
those are
when
usually
that is.
in the gym, if I remember.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else we need to hit today, Coach, or did we hit it all?
Well, unless you got a really deep question, I think we hit it all.
I've hit it all today. Well, I will let you thank our sponsors then.
All right, thank you to our sponsors: Auto Glass Magic, Bruner Auto Group, Syntex Body and Paint, Syntex Equipment Sales, Citizens National Bank, Dan Hill Containers, Dr. Bond Young, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, Edward Jones Investments, Heartland Funeral Home, Hendrick Clinic, Landmark Admin, MC Bank, Painter and Johnson Associates, Smith and Sharp Agencies, Sonic Drive-In, Stanley Chrysler, Texas Bank, Weldon Wilson Electric, Western Bank, and Willie's Teas.
All right, and that will be a wrap for today's show. We will be back here Monday on the Brownwood Lions Coaches Show on KOXE, KOXE.com, and the KOXE app.